Merry Christmas. 'Tis the season to make some eggnog. If you are an eggnog drinker, you are going to love this. I'm only doing a half a batch, so whatever I do, if you want a bigger batch, double or triple it, super easy. We're going to start with 3 egg yolks, just the egg yolks. You can save the egg whites for something else later. One of mine broke, don't worry about it breaking. And then we're going to add 3 egg yolks, about a third cup of sugar. I'm doing a mixture of regular sugar and monk fruit here. We're going to add that into our bowl and we're going to whisk that up until it's nice and creamy. It's going to be kind of thick at first. Don't worry about it. Keep whipping. It's going to get really creamy. Almost like light and fluffy. Keep going. When it looks like that, you are done. Beautiful. Now we're going to get our cream and our milk. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to be adding 1 cup, because remember I'm doing a half of a batch. So 1 cup of regular milk and half a cup of cream. Like that, into your bowl or your pan or your saucepan. This is a great time to add your flavoring. So we're going to be adding a little bit of my homemade spiced rum vanilla, about a teaspoon, measure with your heart, and your cinnamon, about a teaspoon, measure with your heart. That's enough. And some ground, not ground, you can use ground nutmeg. I'm using whole nutmeg. This has been a game changer, the whole nutmeg. If you've never tried it, go get some. I got my first one at World Market and I fell in love, but it's so much better than ground nutmeg. So whole nutmeg, World Market I think had it for like $5, but you can find it on Amazon for like $8 for a big bag of it. And honestly, like this is all the nutmeg that I got from Amazon, and it'll probably last me, I don't know, maybe forever. We're going to do about a quarter teaspoon. If you really like nutmeg and love that flavor, do more or less. It's up to you. You can always add more later once everything is done. All right, so very important tip is when you are warming up your milk, you want to do it low and slow. Bring it to a gentle simmer, just about a simmer. You want it hot because you're going to temper your eggs, which kind of cooks them and gets them creamy and thick. But do it low and slow, not fast and hard. Nobody likes that. Low and slow and gentle is the way to go. So keep an eye on your milk and cream, because if you turn your back, it's going to burn. Milk has a tendency to do that if you neglect it. It throws a temper tantrum and burns. So keep an eye on it. All right, so now that that's done, we are going to temper our eggs, adding our milk. So this is that hot milk that we just had on the stove, and you're just going to slowly pour and stir at the same time your egg mixture. Now, the important thing is while you're doing this is you do not want your eggs to scramble. Nobody wants sweet, creamy, scrambled eggs. You're going to do it, keep going. Gently pouring it in. And again. It's the fun part, right? And again. I like to do mine until it's almost all the way mixed in. now we're just going to go ahead and add the rest in. And all the cinnamon and nutmeg will kind of float to the bottom or settle. Go ahead and get that in there. Now we're going to go ahead and transfer this back in the pan. And bring it to the stove. All right, so we're back on the stove and we're just going to gently heat this one more time to kind of thicken the egg and the cream together. All right, so now that our mixture is done, we're going to go ahead and transfer this into our jar and let it cool carefully. Once you get that first pour, start fast. Get all that goodness in there. Now, if you have any clumps in here, go ahead and strain the mixture. You shouldn't have. If you watched your eggs and watched your milk, you should not have any clumps scalding from the milk in your mixture. But if you do, use a strainer and strain your mixture before you put it in your jar. Nobody wants clumpy eggnog. I'm going to grab a lid. We're going to put it in the jar and come back when it's nice and cool. All right, so now that we have our eggnog done, we're going to go ahead and make some whipped egg whites. Now, if you don't like the idea of whipped egg whites, you don't have to do this. This is totally optional. If you don't like it, leave it out. But we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to take our egg whites and pour them in, and then we're going to beat the bejesus out of these. You can see how these are getting nice and foamy and full. Keep going. All right, so now that we have our egg whites done, we're going to go ahead and make us some eggnog. So this has been chilling for a few hours. Just pour that in. That's so good. And we're going to add just a little scoop of egg whites. Again, this is optional. You don't have to do it. Put it in there and just kind of fold it in. And drink up. Cheers. That is so good. It will definitely not last in your house or at a Christmas get together. Make it, let me know what you think. Definitely better than store-bought. Until next time, happy cooking and Merry Christmas. Bye.